Welcome back, dudes. 기사, 기분이 어때요? 혹시 코로나 바이러스 없습니까? 아직? Guys, just want to hop on. I'm gonna do a quick stream. This is gonna be probably like less than 30 minutes, but VSKYLABS just came out with the helicopter you're looking at now, the Robinson R66. I had the Alabeo version, which I guess it was for X-Plane 10, and then they kind of made it compatible with X-Plane 11, so it wasn't the best. This is allegedly a study level aircraft, whatever that means to you individually. I couldn't really tell you. I'm not a real helicopter pilot, but I've flown it for maybe 15 minutes yesterday. Go ahead and close this door. Apparently, it's got the G1000, which is a big difference avionics wise from the Alabeo version. This is supposedly modded, but I haven't really messed around with it. You're flying a helicopter. There's no reason for you to do a long flight plan. Generally speaking, you got range, but I'm not flying more than 100 miles, and we're generally not flying IFR. I'm not even sure if this is IFR rated. I'm not sure what the requirements are for IFR helicopter flight. I'll get it started up in just a second. It also has a stability augmentation system, which I probably need to do a little bit more research on because when I turn on the SAS, it kind of activates an autopilot. It holds like an altitude or something, and as soon as you put in control inputs, then it disengages. So I'm not sure if that's a glitch or if that's how it's supposed to be. Another thing, if you get the helicopter, the throttle controls are linked to wing sweep. So you have to go to your joystick. I've got this number 2 axis over here, this little scrolly bob set to wing sweep, and that controls the throttle. The collective and everything still works like it would with your normal throttle. So there's that. Everything else works as you would expect it to. Go ahead and close this door as well. One cool thing that I think is pretty immersive for checklists and stuff, if you click the manual here, checklist, your disembodied arm holds a checklist for you. So you can go down here. Fuel shutoff valve is off. The guard is installed. That's not off. Collective is full down. The friction lock is... We're going to turn that off because don't want that on for startup. You know what? I'm not actually going to do this. It is easy to hot start. You will set this baby on fire if you don't do this properly, but it's fairly easy to start up, and I'll show you how to do it. Quickly click that book to dismiss this kind of stuff. You can see the rotor brake is on, so we need to turn off the rotor brake. Come down here, get the battery. Our forward beacon on. That's the red boy. There's a rear beacon, which is white. Strobe, I'm not going to turn that on. Don't need it, I don't think. Those are on. We're not going to turn on the fuel. So turn on the ignition. Hold your start button until about 15%. It'll make a beep noise, and then we're going to introduce fuel. Otherwise, you'll hot start it and start the thing on fire. So there's the starter. Waiting for a beep. There you go. So now you can introduce fuel, let off the ignition button, and we'll wait for the RPMs to come up. Go ahead and get the generator on, and we can turn avionics on. Again, like I said, I haven't really messed around with the G1000. Apparently it's modded, but I don't really see a lot of use for a G1000 in a helicopter that has a cruise speed of about 100 knots. We're not doing long IFR flights. Some other stuff to talk about. One, the light sprites, lens flare things look pretty good. The model is good. It's got these floats on it. I'm not sure if they can. I'm assuming they can be inflated. The sounds are pretty good. You also have to increase the throttle really slowly. It's really easy to over torque because there's like a lag or something on the governor. So we'll start to bring the RPM up slowly. You'll see it kind of jump around a little bit. Once you get to 100%, then you can kind of firewall it. You can see the RPM and the N2 and the rotor RPMs are coming up here. See, right there, the engine torque. So now the governor took over, so I'm going to keep bringing the throttle in. there's the governor taking over. Still rolling it. Alright, there's full throttle. Get an altimeter real quick. We are near Custer, Michigan, so 3018. And I think that automatically switches over here. Does this also, yeah, they both influence each other. So 3018, and I guess, you know, again, if you wanted to do a flight plan, all the functionality is here, just like it is in the default. Actually, go menu, delete. If you're familiar with the default G1000, that's good. It works exactly the same way. I'm not sure if it has the same functionality as the Hot Start TBM, but it's good. Everything works. Down here, you've got another map screen. You can change them different. It's basically the corner screen down here that you're seeing on a bigger readout here. Weather, I guess, but again, you're in a helicopter. You're probably not going to be using a lot of the functionality that's actually here. Also, this thing, I believe, is for Avitab. I don't have an Avitab subscription, or I'm not an Avitab member or whatever. It's all free, but I guess if you had Avitab, I think that's what that's for, because I can't seem to get it to do anything else. Don't know. So we're going to take off. We'll do a couple landings, and then I'll do an auto rotation. We'll try. I'm not sure how it's going to respond. It says it's capable of auto rotation. In fact, let's look at it. So we power on. We're going to be power off. Auto rotation. Never exceed speed is outside air temperature is what? 7 degrees. So for us, it's probably going to be about 99 knots. I'm guessing 90 knots for auto rotation. Like I said, the throttle and the governor are pretty sensitive, so the auto rotation, we're going to, hold on a second, close this guy. So we're going to cut the throttle completely, drop the collective, and then we'll flare at the end and use the collective for the auto rotation. So I'm not sure what the throttle's going to do when we decide to do that. We might crash and burn, but I'll make that our last landing. Without further ado, our lights on here. Let's go. Not going to use the stability augmentation system, so you can see what it looks like. Also, if you're unfamiliar with the G1000, there's no slip skid indicator on, we don't have a turn coordinator, obviously. That's what this is down here. So you can see if I move the rudder pedal, or the anti-torque, sorry, the anti-torque pedals, you can see the slide. We want to keep this centered. It works exactly the way that your slip skid indicator would. You step on this little line. So if it's out to the right, we need right anti-torque pedal. If it goes to the left, we want left anti-torque. Just like an airplane, there's obviously a little bit more input that's involved. So again, this flying is without the stability augmentation system. So barely any left rudder. Actually, there we go. Easy. Let me try hover. I mean, it feels pretty stable. I'm not a helicopter pilot. I suck at flying helicopters, but I can hover it, so let's get the fuck out of here. Sounds are pretty good. Probably turn them up a little bit. It feels pretty easy to fly. Like, the transition is much easier to slow down. You can pretty much drop the collective, and as long as you're continuing to move forward, there's not a big issue with getting into like vortex ring state or anything. I haven't any drops like I did with the Huey or the 412 or anything like that. I'm gonna fly over here, find a little highway, and then we'll look for some spots to land this thing. It's a lot of slip in turns, a lot of anti-torque pedal.
Tower, Wisconsin 3755, 24 right. Wisconsin 3755, clear to land 24 right. Clear to land 24 right, Wisconsin 3755.
We're flying down this little highway here. We'll just look for like a big field or something next to the road, and I'll try to slow it down and land there. Also haven't checked out the cockpit lighting or anything at night, so before we end this stream, I'll fast forward the time a little bit. It's nighttime.
3755,
See what the lighting was like.
Cross runway 28, contact apron 12207 on the other side. Alright, Bravo 2, cross 28, and we'll contact apron, Wisconsin 3755. Wisconsin 3755, exit Bravo 2, cross runway 28, contact apron 12207 on the
Big
other
old
side.
field right here. So let's see.
Bravo 2, cross 28.
Sort of drop the collective, keep the nose up and start slowing down. Do a little J-turn action. There we go. That's a good way to bleed off speed. No idea what the wind's doing. Don't care.
Cat 284, contact ground 1219. Cat 284, contact ground 1219.
Alright, little firm. Still moving backwards. 안녕하세요. 잘 가요. See what that looks like. See what the sound is like, actually, too. Perfect. My bad. Like I said, not a helicopter pilot.
97975, exit
Give that another go.
runway 24 right.
Okay, we can run the
Combat takeoff here.
runway 2 full right, and it's on 975.
Exit Delta 6 and cross runway 24 right.
Okay, we can run the Delta 6, cross runway 2 full right, and it's on 975.
Let's try this little field over here. See if I can do it a little bit smoother.
Canada 412, contact departure 1288.
Departure, Trader Canada 412.
Canada 412, contact departure 1288.
Departure, Trader Canada 412.
Firm. Survivable. It's going to take a little bit more practice with this. Feels like it kind of drops pretty fast the last little bit of the way. Do a couple more and then I'll try an auto rotation and get out of here. Also, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll probably do a more in-depth video at some point once I've had more time with this to figure out the functionality and precisely how everything works. Maybe watch some videos with real helicopter pilots.
Tower, hello, AC 4492, visual 24 right. AC 4492, there when you come out to 3031, plan your exit at Bravo 2, clear to land on the 4 right. 24 right, clear to landing, 4492.
So let's see how fast we can get this guy. I'll bring up the collective. We can go to about 80 on the torque. So the caution range starts at 110 knots.
And then 7975, contact ground 1219.
1219,
And then 7975, contact ground 1219.
1219.
So there's about 75% torque. And we're at about 120 knots, which I guess is acceptable, but we're in the caution range. I'm not sure how much deflection would cause damage actually if we try some aggressive stuff here. Try a steep turn.
1363, contact ground 1219.
1219,
It just bleeds off the speed right away. I'm not sure if that would actually damage anything.
Rouge 1863, contact ground 1219.
1219, Rouge 1863.
It is fun. I mean, it's responsive.
Tower Encore 3216, let's set to fly. Encore 3216 tower, company Q and mile final, wind calm, clear to land, runway 24 left.
Try one more regular landing and then I'll give some auto rotation a go. See if we can find the airport. speed back a little here.
Lima X-ray, Mike Charlie Echo, tower, wind calm, clear takeoff, runway 23. Clear takeoff, runway 23.
Lima X-ray, Mike Charlie Echo.
Did not get an ATIS or anything. I'm not sure what the wind is actually doing here, but it does bob around quite a bit, which I'm not sure if that's responding to wind or what. I think the airport is somewhere to the south here. See, this is the fun helicopter flying.
Lima X-ray, Mike Charlie Echo, tower, wind calm, clear takeoff, runway 23. Clear takeoff, runway 23.
Lima X-ray, Mike Charlie Echo.
Tower 4405, cleared right visual, 24 left.
4405, there, exit ADN, wind 1505, clear to land, runway 24 left.
524 left, 4405.
No idea where the airport is. Oh, there it is. I believe there's some baseball fields behind it. We'll land on one of those, and then we'll do an auto rotation or two. Assuming I don't crash and burn on the first one.
4405, there, exit ADN, wind 1505, clear to land, runway 24 left.
524 left, 4405. Proco 3405, exit up 2, cross runway 24 right.
So I'm going to bring it to hover and see if we can put it down properly.
Proco 3405, exit up 2, cross runway 24 right.
That'll do. One thing I'm still waiting for is American liveries. I'm OCD and I'm not a huge fan of flying non-American tail numbers. I need some. So any of you paint boys out there, come on, hook a brother up with some November numbers. about as good as a landing is going to get from me. Alright, we're going to take off one more time. Let me see if I can find a windsock first. See which way we should land for these auto rotations. Well, direct crosswind, not going to matter anyway. Alright, here we go.
April 7529 on Delta, sort of good.
April 10529 Tower, good evening. Traffic landing.
So if you're not familiar in auto rotation, we're going to drop the throttle. It's going to simulate a loss of engine power. And then we're going to lower the collective completely to reduce the amount of drag on the rotors. And then we're going to pitch the nose forward and aim for probably about 80 knots, I'm guessing. So we want to keep the RPM relatively constant. And then we're going to round out over the runway and start to bleed off speed. And right before we touch down, then we'll start to bring the collective back up to help slow us down and cushion the impact. If everything goes right, we're not going to turn into a flaming ball of fire and wreckage. Little skate park down there. And you want to be at about 1,500 feet for this to go properly. So I think we're 600 feet above sea level here, so we need to be about 2,000. Climb on up there, boy. 1,000 to go.
Towers, the 319 rolls, line up runway 23.
Oh yeah, to the 319, line up.
Rouge 1806 Heavy Towers, the 319 rolls, line up runway 23.
Oh yeah, to the 319, line up and wait 23, Rouge 1806.
Also want a little bit of forward airspeed that's going to help keep air under the rotors for our landing. Sort of turn it back towards the field. There it is.
Aqua 3405, now contact ground 21
And it should be good enough altitude-wise. So we're going to go throttle back to 0. Get a warning here in a second. Drop the RPM. Ooh, that's loud. So we're going to kind of keep... We're already over speeding. I want it about 90 knots. So you can hear the RPM stays relatively constant, which is what we want. So there's 90 knots, which feels okay. We just don't want any huge drops in RPM. Alright, we're going to level it out here. Slowly bringing the collective back in.
Air Canada 870 Heavy Tower, line up runway 24 left.
Line up 24
There we go.
Air Canada 870.
We didn't die. That was actually pretty good. I'm proud of myself. Holy feck. Let's watch a replay of that. So I'm going to put it at the end of the runway, and I think we probably touched down about halfway. So there's the nose down. We've obviously got the RPMs down, and the collective is dropped. A couple weeks ago, I saw a guy doing this in real life. I think it was an R22. I don't think it was an R66, but it made me. I was like, I'm never going to be a helicopter pilot. It's insane watching them do that. I don't even get motion sick, but it made me sick watching him. Just trying to keep the nose up. It still wants to drop because the collective is down. So there's me bringing the collective back up. Not bad. Get that one more go.
Air 10 to 411 heavy tower, Q400 traffic short final, wind calm, clear to land runway.
Gotta get our RPMs back up. So once again, gingerly creeping back up to 100%. Alright, I think the governor's got it. Keep rolling. Yeah, we're good. So there's full power. Climb back up to about 2,000 feet.
Air 10 to 411 heavy tower, Q400 traffic short final, wind calm, clear to land runway.
I feel like I shouldn't do another one. I had one successful auto rotation. Let's just call it a day. But we're gonna test my skills here.
Encore 3216, Delta 2, cross runway 24 right. Delta 2, cross 24 right, Encore 32. Encore 3216. We're 1806.
Alright, there's 2,000.
We'll take up 231806.
We get a little distance here. I don't want to tempt fate and try to do a crazy maneuver back to the runway. Don't think my helicopter skills are that good. Alright, here we go. We're gonna drop the throttle. And the collective is down. Looking for 90 knots and keep it right there. So the alarm didn't go off because the RPM stayed relatively stable. Start trimming to keep it where we want it.
We'll take up 231806. Budget 580, Bravo 2, cross runway 28, 12207 on Foxtrot. Set 580.
Another survival.
Budget 580, Bravo 2, cross runway 28, 1.
look in the cockpit and see
Bishop
when
580
I
after crossing 1220.
drop the
come on.
throttle here.
Okay, we'll try again.
Bishop 580 after crossing 1220.
There we go. That's the throttle.
Okay, we'll try again.
Collective is down. This is the end of the runway. We probably again, I think we made it off by the first taxiway too. Decent. This is slow. You can see the helicopter bobbing. That's slowly pulling the collective up to slow the helicopter down and try to cushion this last impact. And that's also when the RPM started dropping and the alarm was going off. But survivable. We survived 2 auto rotations. That's not bad. I'm going to hover this over to parking.
Bishop 413, Imton Tower, contact departure 133.65 airborne, 12708, clear takeoff runway 02.
3365 airborne, clear takeoff for 2, rest at Wooded. Tower 413, Model Short 02, ready for takeoff.
Bishop 413, Imton Tower, contact departure 133.65 airborne, 12708, clear takeoff runway 02.
3365 airborne, clear takeoff for 2, rest at Wooded.
So it's also a lot easier to auto rotate than the Bell 407. And probably the Hughes. It's actually pretty forgiving.
432 is ready for departure.
Transat 432, Imton Tower, contact departure 133.65 airborne, wind 2709, clear takeoff runway 02.
Clear takeoff 02 and 3336 airborne, Transat 432. Tower, Transat 432 is ready for departure.
Transat 432, Imton Tower, contact departure 133.65 airborne, wind 2709, clear takeoff runway 02.
Clear takeoff 02 and 3336 airborne, Transat 432.
See if I can put it on one of these tie downs next to this Civil Air Patrol 172.
With the 206, hold spread 2 on Alpha.
Bishop 2206, Imton Tower, good morning, contact departure 133.65 airborne, wind 2809, clear takeoff runway 02.
Okay, clear takeoff 02, departure in the air. Have a good day, 15206.
Alright, let's see what the actual shutdown procedure is. I'm going to assume it's similar, so avionics off for sure. Transponder on standby, and let's see what the checklist says. Collective in cyclic pedals, all neutral and down throttle. We'll close it. Friction lock is off. External lights. Engine cool down 2 minutes idle, and I can do that. And then the fuel cutoff valve. Bam. Kill the generator and battery off. Usually you'd wait till I think 30% RPM, so I guess once this is off our gauge, I'll go ahead and pull the rotor brake. Which is here. Alright, dudes, I'm going to watch a replay of that and let it go to shutdown. I'm going to get out of here. I'll do a longer video once I've delved more into what, I guess, the thing is capable of doing. Like I said, I haven't looked at the G1000 much. I know that it's allegedly modified. It's not the stock X-Plane G1000, but I'll have a look at that. I'll come back with a longer video at some point. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Peace.